Join Sam's Club and get incredible savings every time you shop. Check out the wide selection of fresh seasonal fruits and vegetables picked at the peak of ripeness. Find delicious oven-fresh baked goods and tender hand-cut USDA choice beef. Plus, hurry into Sam's Club by July 12th and get free items when you join. Get a package of berry chicken salad, a large rotisserie chicken, and 8 gourmet cupcakes, all for free. Stop by today for this limited time offer. Join and save. Sam's Club. Life is better in the club. See club for details.
Blog Talk Radio.
You know what time it is. Time to hang out with Mr. Coop. With Mr. Coop, with Mr. Coop, with Mr. Coop. Get the latest scoop from Mr. Coop, from Mr. Coop, from Mr. Coop. Hang with Mr. Coop. With Mr. Coop, with Mr. Coop, with Mr. Coop. Get the latest scoop from Mr. Coop, from Mr. Coop.
Welcome to the Bit Scoop with Coop. I'm your host, Coop, and of course, we're still rolling strong for season 2. Make sure you go to the bitscoopwithcoop.com, facebook.com/the Bit Scoop with Coop, MySpace, YouTube, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, or just Google the Bit Scoop with Coop. You can hear my season 1 show and you can hear season 2 show. But today, today's guest, he's an author of 9 novels. He's directed 3 films. He has a bachelor's degree in telecommunications and a master's in business administration. Ladies and gentlemen, D.E. Rogers. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, Coop?
Hey, I'm doing great. And Mr. Rogers, on this show, we always speak about how people started in their career, their success, and they also give advice on actually how to get started in their career. But we always start from the beginning. Mr. Rogers, could you tell everyone what inspired you to become a successful author of 9 novels?
I would say, life, my upbringing. My mother was a writer, so that kind of was the genesis of my writing. But also, I have to look at, different writers and entertainers who blazed the trail before me to give me the opportunity to succeed. I feel that I'm even inspired just by the God-given talent of writing and storytelling that I have, and I just feel it would be a huge waste for me not to share my talent, my voice with the world. I figure I was put here to make an impact, and that's what I'm trying to do is make sure that the impact that I leave is by also inspiring others to follow their dreams as well.
Wow, that's a great answer. Mr. Rogers, there's a lot of people out here that wants to be authors, and from writing a biography or writing about their own life all the way down to writing children's books. There's a lot of people, and since we're in the digital era now, instead of getting the pencil and piece of paper, people are actually on their laptop, their tablet, and they just start typing and saving away. And it shows with you, Mr. Rogers, that a lot of people can become authors. You're a proven fact. You've done it more than once, twice. You've done it more than 5 times. And I believe you're not finished yet. There's a lot going on, and I think you can actually be a big inspiration to a lot of people that's actually trying to become authors. So I want to thank you for that, and please continue the good work.
I won't stop.
Good, because we need more authors. I think we need more books to read compared to just watching. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a movie fan, but, reading a book, a lot of people is putting down books and trying to get the audio or the video version of whatever the novel is. So please continue to write. That'll inspire more people to continue to write, and that'll probably bring up more reading, especially in America. So that's a great thing. Now, Ms. Rogers, also, since we're talking about your novels, could you tell us the name of your novels that you've written, and where can they purchase them at?
Yeah, I'll start with you can always get my books on Amazon.com, but also you can go into your bookstores as well, and if they're not on the shelf, order it. So that's that. But the 9 books that I've published so far in my I still have to say young career, White Lie, Color Line, Just Like Your Daddy, I Know She Didn't, Counterfeit Friends, Forgetting You Existed, Crossing Color Lines, The Dark Side of Money, and the most recent one is Dethroned, The Dark Side of Money, the sequel to that.
Oh, wow. Cool. Now, out of those 9 books, which novel was the greatest challenge writing?
I would say the first one. The first one, getting, just coming out the gate, you face so much, the challenge of able to take criticism, able to, listen to, we'll say, a lot of people aren't always going to champion what you write. A lot of people, won't be there. So it's not to get discouraged, but the first one was really getting over that hump. Really helped me, kind of guide me to write everything else from that point forward, because I was able to, get tougher skin and be able to handle criticism. And also, you don't know much on your first book. You're like, like a baby out there, trying to find your way, and and that's that was the challenge, but also it was also a good thing because it got me started, and it started me to understanding that my voice was important to share with the world.
And, that's a great thing, because to be truthful, if I became an author, and I'm just speaking for myself, I would probably be on page 1 for the first 30 days, because I would be so paranoid, like, am I putting this thing in right sequence? And it seems like you grabbed the book, and I believe when you finished with that first book, I believe that was like a stress relief and a load off your chest. So that had to inspire you to keep going and going. I can actually see that.
Especially with with my first book, it was about it was more involving race, which race is always a hot debate in America. And so within that first book, my main character, he was a Harvard grad, and he could pass as white, and he decided to go that route for the opportunities that he perceived were going to be, fitting for his career. And it's funny is that, with the recent story of the Rachel Dolezal, which goes in the opposite way of someone white portraying to be black. So it's kind of like, it's interesting to see how that story has come back even in this modern day of how different races interact and how some people might want to be a different race. It's like, how did you feel in that other? You see some of the opportunities that people might want to go after based on different races and the perceptions of what they get by being that certain race.
Wow. And I mean, what made you, well, with that novel right there, what made you decide to go, even though that's a big topic and there's a lot of topics in this world, but what made you decide to go that way?
Well,
Well,
the first book that was 1999. Now I'm dating myself, but
okay,
it was the timing. I grew up in Indiana. I live in Oakland, California now, but I grew up in Indiana, and so Indiana is kind of like a hotbed for racism, and so you still have like the Klan as an organization that can actually still march in Indiana. So you always kind of grew up with race right being in your face. And I just wanted to speak up on it from that viewpoint of a black person having the opportunity to be white and finding out, the grass isn't always greener on the other side.
So true. That's true. Now, Mr. Rogers, let's fast forward to a little in time. Let's get to the throne. Now, can you tell everyone like a deeper knowledge as far as goes for the throne, what it means, what inspired you to write this book?
Oh, God. I'm a big fan of fashion. I'm a big fan of crime shows.
Okay.
And I kind of I did a blend of it. The throne is like Empire meets A Devil Wears Prada. And so within there is the inner struggle of a powerful African-American family in the fashion industry in New York City. And Dethroned is a sequel to the first book, The Dark Side of Money. And in Dethroned, the youngest daughter has taken over. She has defeated her older sister and her mother, and now the struggle is for the mother and the sister to regain the company back. And within there's a lot of murder. There's a lot of just far as, the inner fighting of family. It's just an exciting book that I know that would be a perfect movie, perfect show. I mean, hell, to me it would be better than Empire and Power, but that's just, granted, that's my opinion.
But you know what? That makes me want to get the book, part 1 and part 2, because I believe whenever you make a sequel or a trilogy of any movie or any book, it gets better and it grabs more people's attention. And now I'm gonna go on Amazon and get both of these books because I want to read these. I really do. And I'm definitely going to get it. Yes, sir. Definitely am. Now, Ms. Rogers, I was telling the world also, you're not only an author, you directed films. So can you tell us about the 3 films that you've done already?
Well, there have been 3 short films. One is called The New Frontier. Other one is A Man's Man, and the longer short film was Aftermath. And so Aftermath was in a lot of film contests. It performed well, and so Aftermath is kind of like a love story gone wrong. And so, but it was kind of like my baby project that I really, really got my feet wet on Aftermath, because I literally did all kinds of, I did from the executive producer role to the producer role, to casting, to, hiring a crew and making sure that it had the schedule, it had to do the catering and everything, every gamut of a film production I had to be involved in. And so that was really the highlight, I would say, of my filming. That was kind of like a great achievement, and it's like I said, and I'm definitely proud of the end result of the production as well.
Well, that's something that's great to look at the resume. I mean, whenever you see author and director, and I mean that's like destined for greatness right there in the movie industry, and as far as goes for the book industry. So I mean that's a great step that you've done. Now, since you've done both of these, do you feel like which one is easier for you, being an author or directing movies?
Oh, I'm going to say author. Definitely. That's my zone. I mean, I would say, writing is like a long therapy session. You're basically writing on your own. You have the creative freedom, and you can just do you. Whereas when you're doing, movies, there's so many, so many people giving you input, and even from your actors to your key grip, even extras. Everyone has an opinion on certain parts of the script. Whereas in writing books, you just have creative freedom that I definitely love. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love movies. I'm like you. I'm a huge movie buff, but if I had to, look at as far as the freedom of creativity, I would always have to choose writing books.
Wow. Okay. Well, what are the chances of actually turning some of your novels into movies? Is there a chance that could happen?
I would say, that's a chance for every one of my books. My books are, well-developed plots, strong characters, and they're just colorful. It's like I would literally put my books, if it's in a certain genre, against any book within that genre, and I have to say I still believe my book is the best.
Well, if you had to choose from any of the non-novels, and let's just say Hollywood or even in Atlanta, even down to Tyler Perry, if he came up to you and said, okay, Mr. Rogers, we want to actually choose one of your books to actually turn into a movie, which book, if he puts you on the spot right then and there, which book would you choose first? Because, I mean, you have 9 of them, and they're all great books.
Oh, That, Coop, that's a tough question. But if I had to make that choice, on the spot, probably go with the Dark Side of Money series.
Okay. Would you combine those? Would it be two short films, or would you make it a one feature, or how would you actually do that?
I mean, being that I'm actually working on I call it the trequel right now, the third part of that series, I would look at it being one book, one movie. I could shorten it up to make sure that that we don't lose the cachet of or the essence of the story. So I would definitely shorten it up to make sure that everyone got the gist and it was still powerful. So definitely, I would do that series because it's more fitting to our times. Our time, in this day and age, the culture is so fashion focused, and so this story is about fashion. It's also about seeing African Americans achieve success without being involved in drugs. So it's like literally like the shows that you've seen back in the day of Dallas and Dynasty, where they literally business. It was just a business-oriented show that had a lot of inner family fighting. So, but they also still was very profitable and achieved success. So,
and I believe that movie, if you took that series and turned it into a movie, I believe that you can actually make that into a TV series also. That's just my opinion. I really feel like it because, like you said, when you have shows like Empire and everyone else is actually out there, even down to Scandal, there are shows that could have been just a movie, but you can continue on with the storyline. And it seems like that's one of the books you can continue on with for a long time. So I hope we do get to see that in the movie theaters soon. I hope so. So any producers, even Tyler Perry, if you're listening right now, you need to talk to Mr. Rogers. Let's make this happen. Let's change this book into a movie. Yes.
Exactly.
Now,
exactly. I'm easy to find.
Oh, yes. Now, Mr. Rogers, also, like I said, you have a lot going on, author, director of movies. What's going on with this blog that you have with Just My Opinion?
Well, Just My Opinion is kind of like, it's a weekly blog that I created because I wanted to share my opinion on things that are going on in the world that most of the time we don't speak up. I mean, we have become a society that is dictated by the media, is dictated by what politicians say, but we don't really have a voice. And I'm trying to create a platform for people to express their voice on certain things that are going on around us. I mean, like this week's Just My Opinion is on gun control, and people got to realize, like on an average, 30,000 people die each year in gun-related deaths. And that's huge. And we should be focused on trying to, get those numbers down, or try to figure out a way how to even eliminate it all. But we have to start somewhere by having these conversations about these critical things, because we can't let Washington, dictate how we live.
Right. That is true. Now, how long has Just My Opinion been out? How long have your blog been going on?
We're in the third week right now. Third week.
Okay. And where can everybody find this blog?
You can find it on YouTube, also on my Facebook fan page. Look for D.E. Rogers, author, and you can find me on Facebook. And check out the blog. But like I say, it's on YouTube too. Look at Just My Opinion, and you'll find me. And I say it's something that will inspire people to to talk, to speak, to show that they have a voice. So I'm very proud of that, because I think we need more advocates for people to have an avenue to express themselves.
That's so true. Everybody that's listening, make sure you go to YouTube and look at Just My Opinion. And I believe you will learn a lot from Mr. Rogers because topics will come up that will probably be in the back of your head that you feel like you want to say out to the world, and Mr. Rogers will say it for you. So, I mean, listen to it, watch it, make sure you tell your family, your friends, tell people you're not even friends with. Tell them regardless. Tell them to tune in to Just My Opinion because I'm going to start watching this on a weekly basis myself. Now, also, Mr. Rogers, what you were just saying earlier, how it's easy to contact you, what are some of your, how can people reach you on social media or actually follow you on social media?
Well, on, I just gave you the Facebook, like for Twitter, the real D.E. Rogers, the real D.E. Rogers, Instagram, the real D.E. Rogers. And so, like I say, in Facebook, D.E. Rogers. And if they want to contact me directly, my email is films@derogers.com.
All right. Now, are there any future projects that you'd like to speak about right now that you're working on or planning to work on?
Man, I have so many projects, but in particular, I'm working on, like I told you earlier, I'm working on the prequel to The Dark Side of Money. It's called Dynasty. And I'm also in the process of casting for a feature film called Proctor's Gamble. And Proctor's Gamble is a comedy about a delusional and arrogant white guy who inherits his daddy's NFL team, and he decides that he wants all the fame and glory as his players, even if it costs them the Super Bowl. It's a hilarious comedy that if when that gets made, it's going to be a game changer in the comedy world for us films.
And we need that. I'm sorry, we definitely need that. How far into it are you right now, as far as those for working on that movie?
The script is complete. The script is complete. Like I said, at this point in time, looking for casting. But like I said, I'm also looking to have production partners, as well. I mean, I would love to look at linking with like Leverage, who is owned by Mark Wahlberg. Because I love the kind of films that he makes, and so I would love to have a relationship with him as well. Just as far as saying like he's doing like Ballers and he's done the other things, I just think that I see a synergy on a relationship that could definitely be prosperous and profitable with him.
Wow. If you're listening, link up. I'm serious, link up. I mean, Mr. Rogers says it could be a game changer, so if he said it, I believe it. I definitely believe it because, a lot of the comedies these days, it's kind of targeted in the same direction. And it seems like you're taking this comedy and you're putting it towards the sports thing. So,
yep.
I mean, I like it. I definitely like it. Yes, sir. Now, Mr. Rogers, for the people that's out there right now that's listening worldwide, what advice would you give any male or female that wants to become an author or get into the movie industry?
Man, I would say pray, work hard, study, pray, and be confident. As a young artist, you're constantly tested by enemies, jealous friends, even close friends. You have to be smart and remain focused on the prize. A lot of young artists, they see the Mark Wahlbergs, the Eminems, the Jay-Z's, the Denzel Washingtons of the world, and they don't realize that they started somewhere too. They started where they had the same issues of people not liking them or people, not being very critical of their work. They just don't overnight become this amazing superstar. I've always been inspired by Jay-Z has a song called So Ambitious. And in the song he talks about how, his teacher and how his uncle kind of like, discarded his music or how they treated him. But that shows you the struggle that person had at a certain point in time. But they persevered and they made something out of themselves, out of having, that drive, that never quit attitude. And that's what a lot of people have to have, We have to, use people as examples, but understand that they as well have had the same struggle. So it's kind of like you can identify with that person And that should, keep that drive within you, knowing that it's possible. I think a lot of young artists, we're losing the aspect of the possibilities of things happening because we think it's overnight, and it's not overnight. Things take a while. It's hard work, a lot dedication. All those things you have to have, and you have to stay ambitious.
That's true. That's very true. And see, that's one thing I like. That's real positive attitude right there. And Mr. Rogers, one more time, for the people that want to go audition for your movie, where can they contact you directly? Just give it to them one more time if they're interested in acting in your movie or being part of it at all.
Films at derogers.com.
All right, people, you heard it here first. Mr. Rogers, I want to say thank you for coming on the show. A lot of people have learned a lot today as far as it goes for your novels. Everybody, make sure you go get all 9 novels and you stay in contact with and stay in tune with Mr. Rogers because, trust me, he's not finished with these novels. He's going to be doing a lot of things. And keep buying. I don't care if it's book 39. Make sure you go out there and get it because I know I am. Mr. Rogers, once again, thank you for coming on the show. And
thank you.
Can you tell – oh, yes, sir. And can you tell everybody where they just got their scoop?
Right here on the Big Scoop with Coop.
All right. Thank you very much. And until next time, everybody.